Thank you for tuning in again today. This is Chris here with the Would You Gaming Podcast, everybody's favorite podcast. Today we're going to look into something a little bit different, but before we even begin or announce that topic, make sure if you've not already that you like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know what we can do to improve the podcast to make it better for your listening quality, what topics you might like to see us go over in the future. Anything below, we're always open to that, always looking to improve for you guys, because at the end of the day, we're doing this for you, the entertainment out there. We just want to make sure that something that is enjoyable and that you might enjoy listening to, and let your friends know about us if you haven't already, if you're enjoying what you're hearing here. But today I wanted to look into something a little bit differently, as I was saying. I wanted to look at the Pokemon trading card game and how it has just exploded in popularity, and how even though it could be possibly due to all the constraints going on with everything out there in the world right now, how this is just an unheard of time for the franchise and that side of it in particular. So to start out, we'll take a look back. Pokemon is celebrating 25 years of being around. So that means 25 years ago, they first released their first trading card game. They released the first sets there. They released the first games, Red, Blue, and Green, over in Japan, Red and Blue stateside, or it might have been Red and Green on the Japan side. I'm not entirely sure there. But anyway, so we got all these trading card games that were released, all the sets that came out over the years. That's 25 years worth of product that's gone out. Well, in the year 2021, things have just gone crazy for that. I mean, people are just going out of their mind for the new Pokemon sets that are being released. Even the older ones are going back, and the prices have just skyrocketed over some of those base sets. In particular, the base set Shadowless First Edition Charizard, a card that would have cost you around $16,000 a year or two ago, cost $300,000 at auction this year. That is unheard of. And a lot of people are blaming this on Logan Paul due to his getting involved with the Pokemon TCG. It brought in a younger audience there, and that very well may be the case, but things have just exploded. If you have been collecting any, and I myself until recently wasn't back into it. My daughter, a couple years back when Sun and Moon released originally, we bought some of the Guardians Rising and the Crimson Invasion set, but I was not that impressed. I wasn't that into it at the time. My attention was not on that. But this year, with the release of the Champions Pass set, and anybody who is familiar with that shiny Charizard, I began to seriously collect. I was looking hard for the Champions Pass set, which now if you're trying to get one of the Elite Trainer boxes for those, the MSRP, mind you, is $49.99, $50. If you're trying to buy one of those, you're lucky if you find them in stock at a Walmart. They were once at Target, but not anymore, but we'll get to that in a moment. But you're just struggling to find these sets if you really want to get and collect that one card you need, unless you're just willing to outright pay for that card. And in my case, the shiny Charizard that I'm really wanting is $300, and I believe that might be a PSA 10. I'm not 100% sure. That might just be an ungraded one. I really want it, but I'm not willing to pay that price for it. I probably won't get it graded. I'll probably hold on to it just for my own personal collection. But I really want that card, But for me, it's getting harder and harder to find. Even the box sets like the Return V or the double boxes, they usually go for $20. If you're finding those now, you're going to be paying $30 or more to get one of those from your local game store and online even. It's gotten to such a state where it is hard to get particular sets, like I said. There are some sets that are just abundantly available. The Battle Style set, which in my opinion is a bit of a lackluster set. There are not that many cool cards in that set that I would want to collect for myself. The artwork just doesn't stand out to me. And mind you, there are a couple, but it's just not the set I'm into. The Shining Fates is the most recent set that has been released, and I've been lucky enough to get about 3 of those Elite Trainer boxes showing up to a Walmart early. And that's another thing I want to cover. If you want to get these cards, you have to get out there early and get it. You once were available in Target and Walmart, but grown folks fighting in the parking lot of Target over Pokemon cards kind of ruined that for the rest of us. Let's be honest here. If you're an adult and you're out there fighting over Pokemon cards, something's wrong with you, man. Granted, it's not cool to see scalpers, but have some self-control, my friend. Violence is never the answer, and that's not going to accomplish anything but punish the rest of us. As you see, due to your actions, if you're out there, you are now the reason that we have one less place to shop. And Target is doing all of those orders online now. And to that I say, with it being online only, we have the problem of everything else, including the PS5, which I've not been able to lay my hands upon, are only available online. And this adds further to the problem of stock, because we have individuals out there with bots who just go through and have it set up to purchase everything available. And then the Pokemon Company has stated they're working to print some of those older sets, get more of those printed. But the demand is just so high for these cards right now, even for the newer sets. I wouldn't dare go back and try to buy any of the older sets. I looked at a Jungle Pack online, and that thing was like $600. I've seen some places lower than that. But looking at the cards in that set, there's not really many cards that stand out that are that expensive that justify the ticket price there, the sticker price there. So to me, it's a lot going on with the Pokemon TCG in general. I'm starting to get back into it, and it might be the worst time yet to try to do so, because as I see more and more there's just less available for me. I'll go into a Walmart I've been checking regularly. I go to work. I work my 9 to 5, and I have to be at work at like 8 a.m., right before 8 a.m. So I'll stop at the local Walmart on my way in there. Sometimes I'll get lucky. That's how I've got the most recent Shiny Fate sets that I've been able to get. I was able to get some of those, and there are some great cards in that set. But it's just so hard to find them right now, because everything collectible is just going nuts. I talked to the guy at one of my local comic shops, and he said he's never seen anything like it, because sanctioned play is not in place at this time. You can't even go into your local store and play for tournaments. If you're playing Pokemon TCG, how they're doing it at this time is online. So you're using the online portal that they have there to actually play that. So there's not even a means for you to build a deck to go in and actually use those cards. At this point, it's mostly scalpers buying up the stock that is available out there. And I mean, it's not just individuals on the internet. When the Shiny Fate set first launched, I went to look into an Elite Trainer box for one of those, or even some of the cards. And I went to a comic shop very near to my work. And needless to say, I haven't been back, because the price tag they gave me on the Elite Trainer box on release date was $150. Now, I can understand that if you bought it and you bought an increased rate, or you're a scalper doing that. But if you're a comic shop and you're buying that at about MSRP, there is no reason you should be selling for that much. Granted, everybody's going to make a profit. You match the scalper's prices maybe. But $150 for an Elite Trainer box, that is 200% over the MSRP. You're making 200% profit there. That is super scummy, in my opinion. I don't like to see that in particular. I don't like to see it online, but there's nothing I can do to control that. You know what I can control, though? I can control the fact that my feet will not be entering into that comic shop anymore, because it just left a bad taste in my mouth. But these card games, they just explode in popularity. And I've had people tell me over my life that fads are cyclical. They come back around. And this is so true. I'm seeing like the reculmination of the 90s here coming back in 2021. It's kind of nuts. There's some cool cards out there, and I find myself watching people like A-Drive opening packs on YouTube and everything, just watching that and seeing the cool pools they have. And it makes me just want to get out there and get some packs that my daughter and I can open and just see what we can get and add to our collection. But it's becoming increasingly more difficult to do so. I'm really hopeful that the demand will either drop some, or the Pokemon Company will actually go back and just print more of these sets so they're more available, so it's not as lucrative for scalpers to just buy up everything. I mean, there's a lot going into this, and I really enjoy the artwork there. I've built a couple decks. I'm not really playing in that way, but if I want to get some, I would really like to be able to get some of those chase cards I'm after. Even some of the older sets, I would like maybe a Darkness Ablaze Elite Trainer box. If we can get some more of those printed, if we could get some Vivid Voltage, not got one of those either. And there's some cool little sets that we have coming out. But demand for this is just shot through the roof. And if we look back, Pokemon Company didn't always have the rights to print these cards. Back in the day when they first came out, it was Wizards of the Coast. So those cards, and they had first editions there, and those are increasingly more rare there. Just because they were a more limited print. Oh, even though, never mind the fact that when Wizards of the Coast was printing that the first edition cards would be printed right alongside and sold alongside the sets that were not as limited. So you explain that to me, because I can't reconcile that with myself here. There's some cool cards out there. The secret rares in particular are really hard to get your hands on in some of these newer sets. The pull rates are just astronomical, so you have to buy more and more of the card sets. And it's just hard to do when our options to buy those are either a markup online, a markup in comic shops, or praying we're lucky enough to make it to Walmart before that other individual goes in and just buys everything. When I saw the Elite Trainer boxes for the Shining Fates, I think I bought 3 of them, 2 or 3 of them, because I was like, there's no telling when I'll see any more of these. I could just have easily bought everything they had, bought the tins included, and just went and threw it all online. And I made a grip of money. I probably would have made a nice, tidy little profit there. But to me, you have to leave something for other people. If my greed isn't going to do anything but make the next individual that goes in there miss out on possibly getting that pull. And I don't want that happening to me and my kid. If we want to get a set, or we want to get the newest set, just for instance, Chilling Reign comes out in June. I looked and the time was not available to take off for that, because I would have taken the whole day off just to ensure that I could have got one of each of the Elite Trainer boxes there. And that's another thing. The printing of multiple types of Elite Trainer boxes for the set is killing me, because I've got the red Urshifu box from the, the Battle Styles, and I've got to get lucky now and hope I can find a blue one in stock now, because I'd like to have the deck protectors there. The deck protectors in those are pretty cool. On the Champions Path one, those are the Gigantamax Charizard. On the Battle Styles, we have the Urshifus. These are some interesting looking card sleeves that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else unless you buy them from somebody who bought the Elite Trainer box and just wants to sell those. And these sets have like a promo card a lot of times if they're $50 or more. Because I know the Battle Styles did not have one, and the Crimson Invasion did not have one. Neither did the Guardians Rising. Those were all $40 sets. But the Vivid Voltage, the Champions Path, and the Shining Fates all have a promo card that come with them. There's a promo Charizard in the Champions Path, a promo Gigantamax Eevee, or is it an EVV in the Shining Fates, and I think there is a Pikachu or something in the Vivid Voltage. Like I said, I don't have that one, so I can't speak to that. All I know is it is becoming increasingly more difficult to get your hands on these cards, and with places like Target changing their policies due to the poor actions of some people, it hinders the collectors out there. Scalpers, not so much. They will find a way. They will pay for a bot, and they will get what they need. And I've actually thought of this as well. I thought, could I justify the price of paying for like a month for a bot to stack up on the Pokemon TCG and just not buy anything else for the coming months? Because at this point, how else am I going to get my hands on stuff? Let's hope that Walmart doesn't follow suit with Target and go along with this, because if so, we're all in trouble here. But there are just some great cards in these sets that I really, really enjoy. I really want the shiny Charizard. I would like to get the shiny Gigantamax Charizard from the Shining Fates collection. If I'm able to do so, I will definitely be picking up more of those. I'm not the biggest fan of Battle Styles. They are some okay cards in that set. It's just, there's not much to chase after there. There are some cool cards, definitely, but the other sets surrounding it, Darkness and Blaze in particular, I want the full art Scizor there. I'm just hopeful that for all our sakes, we're able to get our hands on more of these going forward, and the supply constraints just ease up a bit, if nothing else. But Is there anything you're in particular chasing after? Are you into vintage sets? Are you into the newer sets? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you again for tuning in. This has been Chris here with the Would You Gaming Podcast.